Alright, hello everyone. My name is Kyle Fig, and today I will be talking about Frank Zappa and the movements of Frank Zappa, and also the movements of the dancers and the choreographers that are related to Zappa's music. So the purpose of this presentation is to help understand how important movement is to Zappa and how Zappa thought about movement in his music. And this specifically could give more insight onto how he thinks generally, but I will be explaining and analyzing the connections between Zappa's movements and the movements of dancers and choreographers related with Zappa's intentions. So the methodologies I used is I analyzed interviews and I analyzed videos, and mainly videos, conducting videos and the video on G-Spot Tornado. And this is especially effective since my field, kinesiology, is primarily visual. And since my presentation is over dancing and choreography, videos is the best way to analyze dancing and choreography. So just to start off with the importance of visual, we know that Zappa really did care about the visual aspect of his music. In his autobiography before he died, he had mentioned that he wanted to do some sort of hologram tour. And this actually became possible in 2019 of April, I believe, in which he wanted to call Intercontinental Absurdities. But just looking at the picture to the right here, you can tell just how real the hologram visual looks and how far the technology has come. But one thing to point out here is Frank Zappa even thinking about something such as a hologram tour. Now, his hologram tour came out so much later after his death. It really points to his entrepreneurial style of thinking, his entrepreneurial type of personality, in which he was always thinking about the future, and he was always thinking about different ways to sort of help reach other audiences and to make himself known to the world in different ways. And this just points out one of his personalities being very entrepreneurial. And the people who showed up to the hologram tour really did like the visuals and the audio, and I feel like that certainly did justice to what Zappa would have wanted from something like this. The visuals, both the visuals and the audio would have to be on point here. But right now I'm going to watch the G-Spot Tornado video, and then I will talk about it right afterwards. So really quick, just to stop right here, one thing to note is that he did have a job in advertising before he went into music. And one of the things that he really wanted from this performance is that he wanted the dancers to help keep the retention of the audience. And so with this, it's very effective because what they're doing are very intense, very big movements, certainly things that will catch the attention of the audience. But Zappa knew that the audience needed something else to keep their attention, and certainly was very effective. But one thing that I found interesting that I thought I would find something else about was that there was no real correlation between specific moves and sounds, and I figured there would be some sort of correlation between specific moves and specific sounds, but through looking through the video quite a few times, I couldn't find any similarities. All I knew is that the tempo was quick, the dancing was quick, the intensity was very high, and with all the moves, even pausing this video right at this moment, this looks like a very intense move right here. But I feel like it's very representative of his music, and I'd like to watch just a little bit more about it and maybe talk about it a little bit more. And so one thing I noticed just watching it right now is that they are reusing some moves. They're reusing some of the dance moves, but I feel like that does a lot of justice just because the the importance of it is to keep the attention of the audience, and the moves that they're reusing are the flips, doing the barrel rolls, landing on each other, stuff that is just seems very intense. But I'll go ahead and move on, but I did want to touch on that just a little bit. So, what aspects of movement could Zappa control? And this was in an interview about the Yellow Shark done in 1992, September. So the interviewer asked, "Do you have any influence on the choreography of the ballet?" And Zappa says, "No, I can only make suggestions as to what they might dance to." And so, if Zappa did want to put his suggestion in, he would be able to, but at the same time, just reading on, I'm always free to open my mouth, but whether it will have any results, I don't know. But at the same time, he might not have any results. But it just kind of shows the amount of control that Zappa has over the choreography, which, as it turns out, may not be that much. And this is just from one interview about one specific time period, but it does give some insight on how much control Zappa had. I won't interface with the dancers until they come here to rehearse in September. I've met with the choreographer before and I've seen videotapes of the group. They'll probably be doing 2 or 3 numbers in the show, 1 piece for tape and at least 1 with the ensemble. This is important to note too, is that he did want to include the choreography in a couple parts of the show, and I believe one aspect of that is that he wanted in that is to keep the attention of the audience, but also to help tell the story of the music. I feel like with G-Spot Tornado, what we just watched, um, all of these crazy moves, they really help tell the story of the music, since the fast tempo and the fast high intensity dancing really couple each other in this way, so they help tell the story of each other. So through this first half, we know that Zappa does care about movement. There's extra audience interaction, especially with the G-Spot Tornado video. It is a very important part of his live performances, especially since dance moves can't really be replicated in an exact way such as music can. But I do think a part of it may be marketing, especially G-Spot Tornado. It might help for audience retention, but also might help draw an audience in. Maybe they know the dancer or the choreographer that's in there and they want to see their work as well as Zappa's work. So it also increases the audience range, I guess, of Zappa's audience. But I also think he really enjoys it. And so I'm going to stop here for the first part and I will continue on with the second part right after this. Thank you so much, and the second part will be in the description.